What is happening, my friends? John Highley here with the Kingdom Power Life. And I want to welcome you guys to another episode. And today I'm going to be talking about something that one of my mentors taught me a few years ago. And that is the 7 days of creation and how that formula actually works inside of our business. So, Keith Craft, he is a local pastor, and he was a mentor of mine for about a year and a half. I did some of his one-on-one coaching, and the very first time I actually met Keith, I was at another mastermind, and he came on as a speaker, and what he spoke about was this 7-day model. Now, I may butcher this, but I kind of have my own variation of it. So I remember what he said, but I don't remember 100% exactly the way that he laid it out. So you're going to be hearing my version of something that I got from Keith Craft, which he's a mighty man of God, big old giant of a dude. He's probably the biggest built, muscular pastor that I've ever seen. We're going to jump into this. But before we jump into this, I just want to remind you guys, I believe I looked up today, and this might be my 20th video that I've done. And I've done one every single day in a row. And right now we're into 2023. We're ending 2023. In fact, Christmas is just in a couple days. I think today is the 22nd. So we've got the weekend, and then Christmas is coming up on Monday. But I have pledged to do a video each and every day on this YouTube channel. And we're going to continue to grow it, and we're going to do whatever we need to do to get the word out. So if you're watching this and you're enjoying the content on this channel, it greatly helps me if you subscribe, you share, you write a comment, agree with me, disagree with me, that's fine. I just ask that you don't do any comments that are inappropriate or anything like that. Let's be cool with it, because if I disagree with you, I'm going to do it in such a way that's respectful. So, that being said, like, subscribe, do the notification bell thing, all of that YouTube stuff, make a comment, share, and glad to have you here today. So we're going into the 7 days of creation and what that looks like when it comes to building an actual business. When I first heard this laid out, it was kind of an aha moment where, I was able to get this revelation, meaning that God revealed something to me that that the way that he structures and the way that he builds things is the way that we should model and structure and build things in that way as well. So I've got some nice little notes up here, so I'm going to pull them up on the screen right now. And we're going to start with the first one here, which this is the big aha moment that I had. And but it's the one that is just so apparent. It's so apparent that this is the way that we're supposed to do things. So how does a business start? Well, it starts just like on day one. God said, "Let there be light." Y'all have heard this, a biblical term. Day one was the creation of light. And what do you have without light? The absence of light is complete darkness. And so what does light do? Light gives you the ability to have a vision. So when you have a vision, and for us human beings, it's in our mind. And I'm sure the way God has visions is complex, but a lot like the way that we do things. He visualizes it, and then he spoke it. He said, "Let there be light," so he could see that vision before he began to speak in everything into existence. So just as God created light and it separated from the darkness, the first step is establishing a clear vision and really making sure that idea is a different concept, and being able to see it with clarity is key when it comes to starting a business. I don't know how many people are just so wishy-washy when it actually comes to really defining, what it is that they want and where it is that they are going. So many people get stuck in this in-between phase where they might want to do this or they might want to do that. You've got to take some time to get some clarity. Now, how do I do that? I usually like to look in the future where would I want to be if I was able to bara, which is how God speaks things into existence in the Hebrew language. If I was able to do that, abracadabra, right? If I was able to do that, which I can't, but if I was able to, where would I take myself immediately? So I try to establish what that is, what that looks like, and that's going to be the vision. So I'm going to create a vision that is a path to get me to where it is that I can see myself for the rest of my life. Especially you get to I'm 43 now, and when you get to around your 40s, you start thinking about what the rest of your life is going to look like, and you start thinking about what you're going to do now and create that vision to actually get yourself there, which is a beautiful thing because you guys are a big part of my vision here. So that being said, day number one is to get the vision of where it is that you're going. That's what you need to do in your business. Guys, get clear on it. Get clear on it. Make sure that you can see it. And because you're not going to be able to get there or build that bridge unless you know where it is that you're going. You cannot hit a target. I don't care if you were, if I took like the best bow and arrow guy in the world, the guy who, I can't remember the guy's name, but there's a guy out there who can, and I've seen this done. He can take his arrow and shoot it into a target and then shoot every single arrow right behind it, splitting the arrow that he just shot into the target right down the middle over and over and over again, just splitting every arrow right in half. That's how accurate this individual is. Well, you want to know how you could beat him? Well, if we blindfolded him. So if we blindfolded him, you could go and beat him, right? Because he couldn't see what it is that he's hitting. So that is the power of vision. So day two was the creation of the sky. So what do we have here? We have order. So God created order. Once you see your vision, you got to start getting things in order. You got to go and contact your attorney and make sure that you've got legal things in order. There's all of these things that you've got to begin to get in order. You've got to get a checklist, things that you got to go through and do to make these things happen. You got to get your marketing. You got to understand where your audience. So there's a lot of things that you've got to get in order, and that is the representation of day two. Some folks will do a business plan. I do something a little bit different. That I teach inside of my mastermind or with my coaching clients that I believe is like 1,000 times better than a business plan. And it is a true foundation of where your business is going to start. And it's a document that you'll look. I've created business plans in the past, and I put them in the filing cabinet and never pulled them out again. It's wild. I literally pulled out this old dusty business plan from my storage unit that I had not seen since the last time I'd written it, from one of the businesses that we just sold a couple years ago. So I've got a different thing. It's more of a marketing plan and a fulfillment plan, right? So anyhow, let's move on to day three. When God created land and vegetation. So what did he do there is he created a structure. So one of the things that you got to understand, every single business has a structure. And one of the things that I teach in business is that you've got marketing and sales. This is very, very simple. I'm going to break this down. This is the structure that we have built multiple enterprises from this particular structure. You got marketing and you got sales. You've got fulfillment on the back end, marketing and sales, and then you got fulfillment. And then in the middle, you've got systems maintenance. When you can balance these three things and take care of these three things, it will encompass everything inside of your business. That is the structure, okay, of your business. There's so many times, and this is going to probably be an aha moment for some of you business owners out there. There's so many times that you will, I'll see people that will get the sales and marketing going, but then fulfillment isn't working very well. So they've got to stop marketing because their fulfillment's broken. They're not able to make good on the promises that they're selling people, right? On the other hand, I see people that their fulfillment is just strong, and then their sales and marketing's terrible, so nobody knows about them. So people are, like we say in the old automotive industry, sitting on buckets. Their employees are not doing anything, right? So, and then there's the occasion that you get somebody who's got a really good marketing and sales front end, and then they've got a really good fulfillment back end. But then you find out that everything's in shambles, that things are getting lost, and nobody's mowing the grass outside the building, or they don't have a CRM system, and people are putting things on sticky notes, and they're trying to run a multi-million-dollar business with sticky notes. That is where system maintenance has failed. And this system maintenance can be everything from who goes out and cleans the restroom down to integration with particular software that helps you do your job easy, like CRM systems, fulfillment systems like Monday.com, and a bunch of the different ones that we recommend out there. So you've got to have structure in your business, and you've got to be able to do it really, really well. And now we're going to move on to day 4. So day 4 is where it really gets interesting, because in day 4, it was the creation of the sun and the moon and the stars, the heavens, the creation of the heavens. And what we call that is cultural guidance, right? So that is your culture inside of your business. The way people act, the way people move, your core values, the way that you motivate the people that you want that come in, the people that you don't want to come in. My friends, culture is very important in a business simply because of this. When the best cultures that I've seen, and these are some of my clients that I've worked with. I got a guy who has a couple hundred employees, and he has established probably one of the most amazing cultures that I've ever seen in the roofing industry. And I mean, I spoke at one of their events in downtown Dallas over here, and the culture was just extremely vibrant, full of individuals that became friends. One of the key things that people want the culture to be so good, you want your employees to stay for more reasons than a paycheck. You want them to stay with you because they have their friends are there, and there's people that they get along with, and there's people that they're working with that they respect. And there's a lot of businesses now that are moving towards a success culture, meaning that they'll have these Monday morning meetings that amp everybody up and really get people feeling good about themselves. I love that. Who doesn't love that? Who wouldn't want a group of employees that are so happy to be there that they treat other people that they interact with outside of your business, your clients and customers, with vibrancy and energy and love and all these kind of things? That's what we want. That's the type of culture that you're looking for in your business, because number one, it'll weed out the people that shouldn't be there. You get like a negative Nancy type guy or gal in there, and they're going to be around all these positive, happy people, and they're just going to leave. It's not for them, and you're going to get other individuals that perhaps somebody gave them a better pay, right? Somebody connected them, said, hey, man, I'll pay you more. You come work for me. But they look at that company and it's dead. And they look at that company and they're like, man, I can't leave all my friends over here to go to this company because this is a great place to work. So you're giving them a more meaningful reason to stay. And what happens is a lot of times if somebody leaves a company where the culture is vibrant and thriving, most of the time when they leave, they just kind of leave everybody and they fade off and they just go off on to their own way. And your company stays together. It's just the way that it is. And there's a lot of people that do not want to lose their friendships. They do not want to lose the company values. They don't want to not go to the company events that the company promotes. They just don't want to lose that. So in a sense, it's running your company at such a high level that you make it a very valuable place for them to stay and for them to want to work. So you have culture, and that is on day 4. So day 5, we have the creation of the sea creatures and the birds. So that is when you have movement. So in the Bible, it literally says that this was God-created movement upon the earth. And notice that I established the culture before we created the movement, because movement is when you really start moving yourself into the marketplace and you really begin making yourself happen. And a lot of times at this level, you're bootstrapping the business. You're kind of bootstrapping the business, but you are setting a firm foundation, right? Culturally, and then getting things moving and making action happen and seeing the adaptability in the marketplace to make sure that you've got something that can really move and get out there and do its job, sell to other individuals. So the creation of life in the water suggests, the fluid movement of fluid, the movement of water, being able to adapt and being able to change, the ability to navigate different environments. In business, this represents the need for flexibility and the ability to really respond to market changes, and just innovation, right? So innovation is going to be your movement as well. Very important to have that, and a lot of people in this day and age, they call that pivoting, right? So day 6 was the day that man was created. So the creation of land animals and humans. We're going to put this under the category of dominion and productivity, because God told man that you have dominion upon this earth, right? So it is our job to move in, to take our dominion, to take our God-given right, to use the resources that God had given us to our advantage. And I'll say, as a business owner, you are only going to be, resources are everywhere. But the enemy is always trying to tell you that you're lacking resources. And you're only going to be good as your resourcefulness. And the power between the dominion and the ability for productivity, and where people come in, is you're going to get the most productivity when you bring people in and put them in position to really do what they do best. There's a saying that by yourself you can go fast, but you can't go far. You need other people to go far, to get it out into the world. I mean, even if you go back to Andrew Carnegie, this is why masterminds are so powerful, and why I have masterminds, and I help other clients in other industries establish and create masterminds, is because guys like Andrew Carnegie, he literally put all of his wealth that Carnegie had created throughout his life, one of the most wealthiest people in the world, one of the most wealthiest people in the world, and he contributed that to the individuals that he surrounded himself with, his particular employees, workers, business associates, and he called that the mastermind, meaning that he had a circle of, I think it was like 30-some different people that were in his core group. And between all of them, there was the best of the best in just about every area that he needed somebody. And because he had that, and he was able to wield this power, he had this giant mastermind that, coming from a biblical perspective, Jesus Christ says, where 2 or more gather, he is there. So I'm here to tell you guys, when you put together, and culturally, when you begin to run your business biblically, and you start moving things through, and you're giving tribute to our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, there's nothing more powerful than coming together into a meeting and having him at the head of it, having him at the very head of it. And we're going to talk about that. So you can look around through some of my other videos, but I'm going to be talking about how that looks. And in fact, in every single video, I talk about the importance of having Jesus Christ in our life, what he's doing, how he's renewing us, how he's cleaning and cleansing us and making us better every day. He is your ultimate success coach, my friends. And we get the opportunity to put together with other people. God loves it when we come together with other people. Just loves it. That's one of the reasons why the very first food that was given to Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, after they had fell, from God's grace. Some people think it's a punishment that God said that you guys are going to have to work from the earth, and he gave them, you're going to have to farm the earth, which essentially, Jewish wisdom, he gave them bread. And some people thought that was some sort of punishment, but no, the punishment was that they were kicked out of the Garden of Eden, the land of pleasure, I'm sorry, the land of pleasure is what it was called, the Garden of Eden. So that's what the Eden means in the Jewish language. Means the land. It means a land of pleasure. So they're kicked out of this land of pleasure where they could just pull fruit off of trees and eat them anytime that they wanted, and was told that they were given bread. But the beautiful thing about bread, and one of the things, the powerful thing in ancient and Jewish wisdom, is that the most powerful thing about bread is that it brings people together. I mean, how many times you say, hey, you want to break bread together? But if you go to the core of how bread brings people together, just like on the sixth day man was created, brings people together, is if bread, you need somebody to grow the wheat. And I mean, you got a farmer. Then you need an individual to mill the wheat and get it all ready and turn it into flour. And then you need somebody to bake it, and they bake this delicious substance. That's why we know it wasn't a punishment. I mean, come on, you guys ever smelled fresh baked bread after it comes out of the oven? It's delicious. It's warm. It's just awesome. And it was given to us by God. And if you look, Moses, they were given the manna throughout their time in the desert. Every single morning they woke up, and then on the sixth day they had two of them. Why? Because what we're going to be talking about next is the seventh day. So the reason why they had two loaves of bread on the sixth day is because God didn't want them to make that loaf of bread on the second day. He wanted them to save it for the next day. And it also represents trusting God. So the seventh day is when God rested. And I truly believe that this is a day of not only reflection, but evaluation. Now, I do celebrate, and I recently just started celebrating the Sabbath, and I do it in the traditional time. I don't do it the traditional way. However, I do it, so today's Friday, so Friday evening until Saturday evening, I'm going to celebrate the Sabbath. And or with in the Jewish culture they call it Shabbat. I'm going to celebrate Shabbat. And the way that I do it is not really going to be legalistic or restrictive. I believe that was, this is my personal belief, so I'm not imposing this on anybody, but I believe if you make it real legalistic and restrictive, that you're kind of, doing what Jesus said was going to happen, meaning that you put all these laws and these rules in there, and then it becomes a day of restriction rather than a day of rest. So on Shabbat, I'm going to break away from my traditional schedule that's very structured, and I'm going to do what I love to do, and I'm going to spend time with the Lord all day long. I'm going to learn. I'm going to think. I'm going to read. I'm going to do all of them wonderful things. I'm going to go spend time with my family. All of that great stuff through that period of time is how I'm going to celebrate and rest on that seventh day. And if you guys don't believe in the seventh day thing, the resting on the seventh day, if you look at a business model that really proves its effectiveness would be Chick-fil-A. If you actually look at Chick-fil-A, they're only open 6 days a week, and they outperform every one of their competitors combined, including McDonald's, in 6 days. And then they take off the seventh. So that is a practical example of why doing things the Lord's way is the way to do things. And if you wanted to, you could take off 7 days, but I take off 2 days for the weekend. Some people do a 2-day weekend. I don't. I actually use Sunday to structure and prepare for my next week. So, and recalibrate and adjust and do things like that. So, anyhow, y'all, I appreciate you for coming along on today's video, and I hope you were able to learn as much as I did the first time that I heard this structure, because there's a lot of aha moments, and if you lay all of that out, that is an incredible way to begin laying the foundation for your business, making sure that it will be successful. That's the key. You want success. You want to break away from the pain of being controlled by anything culturally in the world. Because, my friends, if you've given your life to Jesus Christ, you are sanctified. You are to be set aside. Take that, believe in it, run with it. Love you, my friends. I appreciate you. And again, if you haven't done it so far, head on over to kingdompowerlife.com and join our Facebook community. We would love to have you over there in the conversation. There's going to be some links on the home page there. There's also going to be all kinds of free stuff. I don't even know. It's going to be changing all the time. So even if you've visited the website, a month ago, a year ago, whatever, just know that we're always updating. We're always changing. We're always adding new programs. We got the Kingmaker Syndicate that's coming along here pretty soon. And maybe you're watching this video and it's already been launched, and it's a program just for entrepreneurs. Very powerful, and we want you to be part of the conversation. Again, free Facebook group is called Kingdom Power Life. You can link to it from our website at kingdompowerlife.com. And do not forget to subscribe, to share, to set the notification bell. My friends, help us get the word out. This is about changing the lives of business owners all over the globe, all over the world. And how are we doing it? I'm not doing it. I'm just bringing you the word of God. And God is going to be getting all credit for everything that we do here. So anyhow, y'all, I appreciate you. And as usual, I'm going to see you on the next one.